Let's talk about something uncomfortable, like itchy wool jumper on a hot day uncomfortable. The truth about self-care for send mums that nobody actually shares is actually that your burnout isn't a badge of honour. In our community, there's this bizarre unspoken expectation that we have to set ourselves on fire to keep our children warm. We've been conditioned to think that if we aren't at breaking point, if we aren't completely exhausted, overtouched and running on fumes, then we aren't doing enough. And I mean schools, children's services, the appointments that we go to. We end up calling it dedication and we call it being a warrior mum. But if we stop and look at it, it's actually just slow motion burnout. And honestly, it is time we stopped romanticising our own exhaustion. Something you probably haven't heard today. Self-care for a send mum isn't a nice to have luxury. It isn't a bubble bath you take once a year when the stars align. And it isn't a clinical necessity for your family's survival. Think of it this way. If your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight, if you're one drop spoon away from a total meltdown, you, that is, not your child, you cannot co-regulate with your child. You can't be the anchor when they're the storm if you're drowning in it all yourself. Choosing yourself for 10 minutes isn't taking time away from your kids. It's giving them a mum who can actually breathe. And this is freeing because it takes guilt out of the equation and replaces it with responsibility. You have a responsibility to be regulated. Now, I'm not just speaking from a textbook. I spent years thinking I had to be supermum. I honestly thought that if I sat down for 5 minutes, the whole house would crumble. Don't get me wrong, I raised 3 amazing Sen kids. There were times where I had breakdowns, I was not okay. But they turned out incredible. Even though I convinced myself I was doing an absolutely shite job. One's a deputy headmistress, another's a qualified technical stage theatre manager, and another owns their own salon. But for a long time I was doing it all while being completely bloody frazzled. I was a martyr to the cause. The moment I stopped martyring myself and started using my own qualifications and specialist blends and grounding myself, the entire energy changed. My kids didn't need a perfect mum. They didn't need a mum who did everything right but was a shell of a person. They needed a regulated one, and they needed me. And also along the way, finding out not only was I ADHD, which I didn't really understand in the beginning. I just knew that as a kid, I drove my mum crazy, never slept, never shut up, never sat still. School reports were the same. That it all started with me, and I needed to acknowledge that and help myself first. So today I want you to do one brave thing, and yes, it is brave. I want you to use anything around you. If you've got one of my blends like my Frazzled Mum or my Be Gentle, use it. Don't wait for the kids to be asleep. Don't wait until the housework is done, because we know that's not happening. Do it right in the middle of the chaos. Take that deep breath, apply your blend and reclaim your nervous system. I just did a study, a 14-day study with a group of mums that tried my Frazzled Mum blend, and the increase in the calm before use and calm after went from a 4 up to an 8 and a 9. It is, the feedback I got from that was absolutely incredible. You aren't a warrior because you're exhausted, you're a warrior because you keep going, but you deserve to feel good while you do it. So I want you to take a deep breath and just be in the moment. You've got this. You are doing amazing, and I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but at the end of the day, we do what we can, and we do survive. We do keep going. We do carry on. But we also tend to think that we're not good enough to be loved, wanted, accepted by others because of the life we live as a send mum, and that's not fair. So if you haven't got one of my blends, do please head over to the link in my bio. My Frazzled Mum is there ready for you to grab. There's also a little whirly thing where you put your details in and you get like 10 or 15% off or free postage. But just do something for yourself today, because you bloody deserve it. You really do. And that's the most important thing. You